Here's your Tascam recorder. I just want to give you a few basic tips on how to use this thing. The home button is your power button. You have to hold it down for a few seconds. You can't just press power. It just won't come on. Here's what it looks like when it does come on. That's your interface. In order to record, you're going to hit this button and you'll notice that it starts picking up the volume levels and it starts blinking right there, but it's not actually recording yet. Not until we hit it a second time. This is just like some kind of a standby mode, and then you hit it a second time, the record light stays on, and now we're actually recording, and you can see that because the timer there is ticking away. So in order to stop the recording, you can hit record, and then it puts it back into that standby mode. But if you want to shut it down, go to the home screen, you use this button again. And now you are back at 0, and you would be starting a new recording if you wanted to do so. One thing we found out a couple years ago the hard way is that there's a hold button on the side, and you use this button, you slide it up to the hold position when you're using the recorder to make sure that it stays on while you're recording so you don't accidentally turn it off. But if that gets locked on there, that locks all the buttons. And so if it gets put on hold while the machine is off, you can't turn the thing on. So sometimes check that as you're troubleshooting. Note about the microphones. Here are your mics. There are 2 of them. And you want to point those, they're directional mics. So you want to point them at the speaker. And a lot of times you want to hold it towards yourself as you're making your recording, and then have the other end pointing at the person you are recording, the person you're interviewing. The microphones are sensitive. This is a really high quality piece of equipment here, and so you want to place this. If you're holding it, try not to move it much. The best thing you could do is to place it somewhere and then keep it stationary, so that, because every time you move it, it's going to pick up some background noise. Every time you shuffle a piece of paper, it's going to pick up that noise. So try not to move it very much. You can adjust the recording levels. If you go down here and you see these, like the Q button, once you press, once you're in the record mode, you'll see down here it says record level, and then you can see that little icon right there. So you can change the recording level. Here you can see it was at 72, 71, 70, 69. See where that's going? And so I'm adjusting that by touching these buttons here. And maybe start it out like in the 50s. And depending on how far away you are from your interviewee, you may have to crank it up into the 70 range. But the louder or the higher that you put that recording volume, the more it's going to pick up from everywhere. So even these little tiny noises from paper or something are going to be really loud. Background noises will be really loud as well. So that's recording level. Another key thing to make sure you do, make sure you do this. Plug in your headphones right here to the line out. So you've got to plug in your headphones so that you can hear what you're recording. Okay, you've got to make sure that you can hear what you're recording, so that way you'll know that you're actually picking up all of these little sounds. When I move the recorder like this, it's going to watch these levels go. When I move the recorder, it's picking up all those sounds, even though I'm not even talking. So you got to be mindful of that. Make sure that the levels, so if I go to menu, I'm going to hit this menu button right here, hit menu, and that gives you to this place, the record setting, and you want the mic power off because the mics are already on, these 2 mics. So the mic power off refers to this external mic input. You're not using an external mic, so keep the mic power off. You just don't need it. It's already recording. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to go back to the menu and then main menu. Why is it not on my main menu? Sorry about this. Main menu. Home again, main menu. There we go. So hit home and then main menu. And then go to this record setting. And then you click this button to say yes. And then make sure that this is MP3 and 320. You can change it again by going here, and it selects that. And then you use the up and down buttons, the plus minus. you'll see it may be at something else. So here it can also be recorded as a WAV file, but we don't want a WAV file. We want to go MP3, and then we want to go all the way up to 320K. That's going to have the highest quality recording. That creates the biggest, the largest file size. That's what we want to do there. The type, we want to do, okay, so you have to go back in order to move this thing. So you got to go like use these to move this back and forth. And then in order to go up and down, you have to use these. Okay, so the type of recording, you have mono or stereo. We want to be in mono because we're just recording the podcast. The size, I would say put it in the 2 gig mode so you can have a long conversation in the largest file. Again, mic power should be off. And then this low cut stuff, don't worry about these things. They can all stay off. So that should be it for record settings. And then hit home. And you're there again. And then you hit record. And remember, we're in standby because this is blinking. Hit record again. And now I'm recording another file. I know that because this is going, but also because I'm listening in my headphones, which you all must do. I'll show you more about how to manipulate the files once you complete the interviews, but I just want to give you that brief overview. Hope that's helpful.